Hello everyone, welcome back to Melanie's Journal, and today I am very excited to give you a flip through of my 2022 bullet journals I should say. But I first want to thank everyone for supporting me for the past year. I started out my YouTube channel for the very first time making videos, and it's just been very exciting to share all of my drawings with you this past year. So yes, I'd like to thank all of you for your support in that. And of course, I hope you'll enjoy the coming year as well. So I'm going to start off with this pink journal over here. I always use two different journals, so I set up one half and the other half in the other. So yeah, we're going to start with this one. Last year was all dedicated to Lord of the Rings, and I very much enjoyed it. So I hope you will enjoy seeing everything all together. So we're going to start off here. This was a notebook therapy notebook, and I really liked it, like the vegan leather. It's very sturdy still. I started off with mainly everything based on the Hobbit, and then just going past all the different locations that we encounter during Lord of the Rings. So here is the main setup. I'm still very proud of this one, especially of course with the entrance into Hobbiton and Bag End. The different yearly trackers I use, they're really just places I can jot down some ideas. So for example, story ideas I have, creativity or books I'm reading, my finance and savings tracker, here the Instagram growth tracker, and wedding planning, as you can see. And the first mind map page with Frodo and Sam. Then also January with Rivendell, still probably one of my favorite cover pages. And this one really cemented the entire setups of the rest of the year. So having a different weapon here for the monthly goals. And then most of my mood trackers are based on the different types of jewelry that you can see within the trilogies. Not all of the time, but most of the time. And of course the setups. And the first man my page with Arwen and Aragorn. Still very happy how this one turned out. It's such a romantic pairing. Now here we are in Mirkwood for February. Tauriel's daggers. She's one of my favorite characters in the Hobbit trilogies. So a lot of this month setup is dedicated to her. Her necklace as a mood tracker, as you can see dangling right over there. And of course, Sava and Killy. Love them, they're so cute. Now March, this one is dedicated to Lake Town. Probably this month and next month aren't my favorites. I was also very busy changing jobs and everything, so it was a very busy time for me. But yeah, just looking back, I think I had better months. But anyway. We made it, so. This is Bard's sword. We don't really see that much of it in the movies, but it's there. I do love this mood tracker page. The kitchen in Bard's house. And of course Bard and Smaug. And Bard and his family. I am really happy with how this one turned out. I think I was really able to capture the actors' faces and just having a nice happy scene together. For April we have the city of Dale, which is largely destroyed within the Hobbit trilogy, but I really enjoyed this one. It has a very different atmosphere from the other sets that we see, both here and within Lord of the Rings. It has a very happy Italian type of atmosphere when it was still up and running. So I did enjoy painting that. And this is one of the black arrows that you can fire against dragons, and they're the only thing that basically can destroy them. And of course it's the one that Bard and Bane used to kill Smaug. This is the opening of the Hobbit trilogies. Windlands that you can use to fire the arrows. This is Hilda, I believe her name was, within the Hobbit trilogies. She's an original character, just like Tauriel is, but I thought she was quite interesting, and she was quite dedicated to both helping within Lake Town and Dale. So I like to include her. And this is the Mirkwood army. I really don't like how this one turned out. I just wasn't really able to get it all together. So, you know, when in doubt, just add gold and move on, basically. That's what this painting is. But then we do finish off with Thranduil and Bard with the Arkenstone that Bilbo has brought to them. Really love this scene. I think both actors do an amazing job. And yeah, they just worked really well together on screen. Here we have Erebor. I really like how this one turned out. Actually, this one and Moria are also two of my favorites, and they're the only two dwarven kingdoms that we see. I just really like the different type of architecture that they use, and the symmetry as well. So yeah, very happy how this one turned out. This is Thorin's sword, and the Arkenstone as a mood tracker. Really love this one. It was based off some fan art that I found of Smaug, and yeah, it just worked out really well. Love all the gold. I'll try and give you some more. There we go, more shine. So yeah, happy with this one. So within Erebor, Thorin in his madness. This is part of one of the opening sequences of Erebor, where they show how skilled the dwarves are at their mining and making of different jewelry and weapons, and I just thought it was a very funny scene. And then we have a lovely scene of Thorin and Bilbo together in Bag End. It doesn't really fit with the rest of Erebor, but they didn't really have the best time when they were together at Erebor, so I just decided to make this scene in Hobbiton. I saw this beautiful fan art of them as if they were an older couple. Of course, that never happened. Spoilers. Yeah, I just like this drawing. It's very peaceful. Now we're really going to go into the Lord of the Rings territory. Of course, we already saw Rivendell, but it's for both of the trilogies, it's one of the first places that they go to. So yeah, that's why it's first. But this is the Gate of Durin, at Moria, and I just really like how this one turned out. It wasn't too difficult actually. It's really quite simple, but I think that just the simplicity just really adds to how striking it is. So I'm very happy how it turned out. And here we have Gimli's axe. This is Gandalf's ring that he uses against Balrog. It's Gimli finding Balin's tomb, which is a very sad moment. The halls of Khazad-dûm. And this was a piece of artwork I found as well, or at least inspired by that, of Khazad-dûm. And I just really like the striking, again, the symmetry and the harsh angles. Yeah, I really liked how that looked, and to add it in with all the other images of Moria. And then of course it couldn't be complete without showing Gandalf fighting the Balrog. And here we have Balin and Dwalin, and they're actually in Hobbiton here, not in Moria, but I still wanted to draw them, especially Balin, because he eventually becomes the Lord of Moria. So yeah, I wanted to add these brothers in. But yeah, that was the first half of 2022. Now we're going to move on to the second part. Also, I'd like to say, please excuse my voice. I've been sick for the past couple of weeks actually, and my voice hasn't really turned to normal, but I definitely want to film this video, so that's why I'm trying it anyway. Here we have the second journal. This is another one from Notebook Therapy. It's called Nara, and yeah, when I saw this design, I just loved it. So, and I thought it was a very nice autumnal journal. So another map, and this time it's of Middle Earth. Really happy how this one turned out, by the way. The cover page, it's a bit simpler, and as I look back at it, I don't like it as much, but you know, whatever, it's in there, it's Hobbiton, it's a different view of Hobbiton as well, so I do really enjoy that part. And here I used just some washi tape. I wanted to make it a little bit simpler for myself during the second setup, and I just thought this washi tape still kind of, you know, had this similar feeling of Hobbiton, and also just show you don't need to draw in everything. I mean, I generally do, but that's because I just love doing that. You can still create a similar feel or Lord of the Rings theme just with some washi tape, and this one is from the Washi Tape Shop. So here we have another. So here I have my book creativity tracker, and this time I made some drawings on the bottom here. So it's basically all different Hobbit doors. Yeah, that's correct. I actually forgot to make a My Map page here. We have July, which is of Lorien. Very happy how this one turned out. I just generally just love, you know, the Elven realms. I've always loved the Elven realms most of all, to be perfectly honest. I'm very, very happy how this one turned out. It's just so magical. Yeah. We have the Vial of Galadriel. There's a lot of Galadriel in this setup, of course. This is her ring, Lenya. And here we have the first piece of her as she pours the water in for Frodo to see. Look into the mirror. Lothlorien at night. The Fellowship leaving Lothlorien again. And one of the most epic scenes, in my opinion, of at least the Fellowship of the Ring, which is when they go past the Agnorath. Yeah, just everything, the scenery, the music, it's just all perfect. And then we have a mind map page of Celeborn and Galadriel being the power couple that they are. Unfortunately, the Rings of Power completely forgot that Galadriel was actually married and had a daughter. But we're not going to talk about that anymore. I just love this scene. They just look fabulous. And here we arrive in Rohan and Edoras to be exact. Here we can see just a hint of the riders with Gandalf, Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli. Happy how this one turned out, by the way. I don't think that drawing mountains really is my forte, but I think with this one and the next few setups I definitely gotten better at it. This is King Theoden's sword. Love all the horse motifs that they use. These are some of Eowyn's jewelry that she wears. This is her crown and there's a necklace. The Rohan banner. These are the graves where Theodred is buried. It's a very sad scene. But it's a very wonderful scene as well. This is the Battle of Helm's Deep. Very happy how this one turned out. I'm going to kind of, you can see the raindrops coming in. I really liked how subtle I was able to make it with just some of my metallic paints. And here we have Gandalf and Éomer arriving at Helm's Deep to save their kinsman. And finally Theoden and Éomer. I didn't draw Éowyn, she's coming, but I really love this pairing and I'm really happy how they turned out. I am especially happy with Éomer. I think I really was able to capture his actor, who was just spot on in casting in my opinion. So definitely one of my favorite mind map pages. Now this middle scene is something I thought up. August is based on Rohan and September is based on Gondor, and in between there's this large mountain range, and anybody who's seen Lord of the Rings, especially the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the third movie, knows that they have to Gondor eventually calls for aid of Rohan to come and help them, and they light the beacons as a means of communication. It's a fabulous scene, and so I wanted to draw that in between these two men kingdoms. And there's a little tutorial on my page as well. Now we come to September with Gondor, and of course Minas Tirith, the White City. So this time this is Éowyn's sword, because she definitely plays a big role within Gondor. This is Aragorn's ring. It's the Hall of Kings. One of the Oliphants that they battle. Éowyn and the Witch King. Fabulous, fabulous scene. And here we have Aragorn during his crowning as King of Gondor. It's a fabulous scene in the movies, always gives me chills, especially when he starts singing. And I'm just really happy how this one turned out. I think this is probably this is definitely my favorite weekly in this journal, but maybe my favorite in the entire year. Very happy, and I think I really captured the actor Viggo Mortensen really well. And here we have Éowyn and Faramir being just the wonderful couple that they are. Now moving on to probably the darkest month of the year, going into the darkest realm, and I thought October as a spooky month would be the best place to do it. So here we have Minas Morgul. And the Mace of Sauron. Basically everything is based off of Mordor, this setup. Of course, the Ring of Power itself. We have the Eye of Sauron and Mount Doom. One of the Nazguls flying around. Sam and Frodo. Sam being the perfect soldier and friend that he is. I'm sure many people cried during this scene. This is after they complete their mission. And Mount Doom explodes. I'm gonna kind of twist it so you can see all the shine. And you can see the eagles coming to pick them up. It's a very beautiful, beautiful scene. And here we finally have poor Gollum with the ring falling into Mount Doom. Very happy how I managed to do this one. I find like different angles and depth quite difficult to really portray really well, but I think it worked out. So yeah, I'm happy with this one. And I'm also happy how he probably looks a bit too cute than he actually is, but I also think that's, you know, what I was kind of going for. And then here we have Legolas and Gimli. I definitely wanted to add them somewhere, and I thought this was a great place to do it because they, you know, really cemented their friendship once they fought in Mordor at the final battle. I'm very happy how they turned out. They're a bit more cartoony than their actors would be. I just basically combined some fan art that I found, and of course the movie portrayal of them to kind of come up with this. And I'm very happy how it turned out. I'm arriving at one of the final realms that we see in Middle Earth. This is the Grey Havens, and this is where the elves, but also some of the characters leave Middle Earth for Valinor. Really love this place. You really hardly see any of it at all, but I just thought it was very, very beautiful, and I think it worked out very well on paper as well. This is Arwen's sword. So this one's a bit more of a different elements combining in this month because, like I said, there's not that much that we could see of the Grey Havens. But of course Arwen doesn't arrive there. She gives up her place on the ship for Frodo. So I liked having her sword there. And of course Lord Elrond, he also uses that sword. And this is his ring. Just moving the bookmarks out of the way. Here we see the elves leaving, going towards Grey Havens with Arwen just there before she turns back to Rivendell. It's a very beautiful scene, and I'm very happy how it turned out on paper. Here we have Frodo and Bilbo right at the end, going on their final journey of life. And I just thought it was very sweet. Bilbo is quite difficult to draw, I know. Older faces I think are difficult, but I'm still very happy how it turned out, and I think I kind of captured Frodo or Elijah Wood as much as possible. Now here we have the Grey Havens again. This is Celeborn, Galadriel, and this is Círdan. He is a very, very old elf. He actually has a beard, that's how old he is. And he's part of the Grey Havens. He's basically like a protector there of the different travelers. And here we see the ship leaving and going beyond the horizon towards Valinor. And finally, Gandalf and Elrond. I hadn't painted them yet, and I definitely wanted to. And I thought this scene of them at the Grey Havens was just a beautiful scene to put them in. And of course, this is kind of the white, not kind of the grey. So I'm sure that people who know and love Lord of the Rings will probably be wondering, what is this? Where is this? And basically we've already seen most of the locations of Middle Earth, except for one, and that hasn't actually really been filmed yet, although we see a little bit of it in the Rings of Power. But that's Valinor. And so this month and last month, it's quite random in the sense that it's based off of characters that we don't actually see in the movies, but are definitely there in the Silmarillion. It would be awesome to see something a bit more, really, really dedicated to Tolkien, to explore that world. But it's a very complicated world, so I definitely understand why none of the filmmakers, not even Peter Jackson, would like to touch it. But yeah, so this is a bit more of like different artist interpretations and my own interpretations. So it's not something that's very recognizable if you've seen the movies. So that's just as a forewarning. This is one of the bows and arrows. I think it's actually Legolas's bow, which is made by the Galadrim. But I definitely did still want to include it in here because elves are definitely known for their archery skills. And here we have the Silmarils, which are basically these jewels. They're kind of like Arkenstones, but not really. Basically, they're the precursor of the Ring of Power. They were these jewels that were made by one of the elves called Valinor, and they were just so beautiful that basically the elves and everything else went to war over them. And they were put into this crown that was worn by both elves, but also by Morgoth, and Morgoth is basically Sauron's boss. It's putting it all very simply, but that's basically it. And yes, I put down Hobbit Tracker instead of Habit Tracker because so many people every time commented on it, so I decided why ever not. Now this is the first scene, and again this is based off of artist interpretations and just some fan art and just my own like interpretations of Valinor. And what Valinor is mainly known for are the two trees, which are basically the precursor of the sun and the moon. Just kind of lift so you can really see the shine. So it's a very magical place. So in here we have two of the Valar, and they are basically these higher beings that are associated with different elements, different creations. And they basically rule over the people the beings, the elves in Valinor. This is Manwë, who is the king of the Valar, and his wife called Varda. He's associated generally with clouds. He's also very friendly with the eagles, and she's dedicated to the stars. And so the elves really love her especially. And here we have the next couple, which is Yavanna, and this is Aule. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's associated with the with smiths and with different elements, and she's associated with nature. And Aule is actually the creator of the dwarves. So yeah, that's why I think they're also associated with mining and metal as well. And I kind of added these decorative elements to him to really show that association. And here we have the next two, which are Ninja, and this is, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Mandos. And they're brother and sister, and she is basically related to Grief. She's also known as Lady of Mercy. And she was actually one of the tutors of Gandalf. Mandos is related to the afterlife, and basically he gathers up the different spirits, generally both human and elves, and they are placed in the halls of Mandos, where they dwell until whenever they are either reborn or where they basically live the remainders of their life. And then one of the other ones, there are a few more, but these are basically the most essential ones. This is, pronouncing that name right, Ilmo, and Ulmo is related to, he's basically a Poseidon like figure related to the oceans, and so that's why he's there. Not very happy how this one turned out, but to be honest, I was basically done with all my setups. Looking towards the new year, I was sick, so you know, I was just very happy just to end this journey here. And then finally we have this drawing, which I'm very happy about. It is of Tolkien and Peter Jackson together, with just a little image of Gandalf the Grey and Bilbo. And I just really want to honor these two creators, of course, Tolkien for, you know, thinking and creating this entire world, and also Peter Jackson for, you know, bringing to life a lot of his stories, of course giving it his own twists, some of which probably Tolkien would not have wanted, but I think he has definitely created some of the best works out there, both the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy. So that's why I wanted to put this dedication. And that is the end of 2022. So I really hope that you enjoyed seeing this journey and seeing all of my different videos and seeing how I created all these setups. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to taking you along with my next journey. So thank you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!